Now we're live. Are we live?
Yes.
We're live at 11:05. Officially live at 11:05. We probably made it on time. I'm BC, Spirit Cars here. Josh, the voice of Spirit Cars. There he is, behind the camera. I missed you yesterday. I don't know if you missed me or not, but crazy busy day. Almost had Chris out of the glass shop do the camera work. We had somebody fly in from Arizona and somebody else. Did they fly in together? His motor builder was from Ohio.
Yeah, they flew in together.
What did the motor builder go out to Ohio or to Arizona first? Or are they buddies?
No,
or?
they I think met up at Little Rock.
Oh, okay. And they drove up here. So the motor builder was from Ohio, and what's his name?
Customer's name is Jerry.
Jerry. So Jerry flew in yesterday, and they were focused. So that was, and we were doing a bunch of other things. So sorry we missed you. Today we got C-Cab. This one's getting it's going out as a kit, but we're actually going to upholster the interior, and this one gets a frame and everything, doesn't it?
Yes.
So this is like a super kit. Body work is done. You can kind of see rear doors are hung. We kind of sand it and there's some seam lines that we sand and prime that, and I guess I can kind of just go over the car and the interior all at once. The way we do our doors here, you can see it's got this flat spot. The glass will just glue onto this, so you'll have the glass will be just flush, a flush mounted glass. And there's a fiberglass panel that snaps onto the back of this and covers all that, door handles. Kind of what I wanted to show you today is Eddie's been getting the upholstery board. This is going to be a complete upholstery job. And you can kind of look in there and see how...
I'm going to go to the front here so I can... Okay. That way, no, you can... I was going to say you could stay back there.
Yeah, so we got the panels here, and I had Eddie pull some of these panels out. You can see we put the Christmas tree clips in here. They're pushed in. He drilled through. Now we bond some plywood into here so that when these push in, it just snaps right in. You have a door panel. So all the panels are made for the car. And if you get an upholstered, as this one is the 2023 C-Cab, and you want it upholstered, the best way to do it is before we deliver it, we do it first. It's not a kit. I mean, do we even sell the kit if we don't have the car?
No, the only thing we sell for the kit is your seat, your side panel, door panel, carpet.
Okay, so that is a kit, but not a complete. And the seat, it just pops out, and then this will get upholstered. And again, underneath we're going to have our battery, and there's a battery box under here, and the master cylinder's under that side. And then once the seat is upholstered, it drops in. You can kind of see on the Spirit 23 C-Cab, what we've done, we've created an insert that we put in here, and this really sturdies up the entire thing. If you look at it from the front here, Josh, if you can just imagine this whole thing as a box. Christmas is over not that long ago, and you've opened up both ends on a box. You know how a box will just collapse one way or another? This is so open that you can, and I'm putting quite a bit of pressure. You're pulling it this way and pushing it this way. I don't know if you can even see it move.
Yeah, we can
feel like
see
it's
it.
moving very much. If I didn't have that insert there and bonded in, I'd be able to push this back and forth easily a couple inches. Inside here, while we're talking about it, what we do is we put a channel here for the windshield frame, and that windshield frame just goes in there. We don't bond it in, because what will happen, it will, even though there's not a lot of stress, it will has the ability, as you're going down the road, to move a little bit. That way, it's sitting in this channel, and it's deep enough where it won't blow back out of it. It just snaps up into there. And that way you don't have the issue of your windshield potentially cracking, which could happen if it was bonded secure into this and into your windshield post. So that goes there. So once we get all these panels, we got a door panel here. What happens, Eddie sews, and Eddie's our upholstery guy, our world famous upholstery guy. I don't know why nobody wants to get on camera anymore. We used to, we used to make them. If you got hired here, there was a regular form that said we have the ability to use your image. So we just haven't done those kind of videos here lately. But Eddie grace our camera here once in a while. So this will all tuck in. It's kind of hard to see, but this panel, it's sewn with some foam on the back side. It's got some material on both sides of the foam. He marks it out, makes his design there, puts it on the sewing machine, sews it. You have your design here. It will get glued onto here, wrapped around tight. This will actually tuck into it so that it's nice, clean, tuck through that hole, and then it'll actually glue on the back side of that hole. And the same on these other panels here. This one happens to be the side panel for the front of the driver's side. We put a little pocket in here. He doesn't have it sewed on the bottom side yet, but it'll have a pocket, and it'll glue onto that panel the same way. It'll stretch tight, fold over, and then it'll have the pins on it, and you'll just go ahead and just pop it into there. This would be a side panel, so this would go on the side, and I was looking at it, and he said, oh yeah, I put that oval in there just so it's got some kind of design that matches the back window. So you could have a bunch of different designs. I believe this seat has a
Bobcat.
A Bobcat, so it's being embroidered into the seat.
Yes.
Yeah, and he said this morning that he was waiting on his Bobcat, so it's over at the embroidery shop, getting that embroidered into the center of the seat, and then he'll upholster around that. So if you do your own, well, this is scored good. If you do your own upholstery, of course we have patterns for this because we do it so much. Just make yourself a cardboard pattern or a paper pattern. This is a upholstery board here. It looks like cardboard. It bends fairly well, but it is actually waterproof. And you can see he's got a bend in this right here where it goes around. Well, to keep that bend going, he actually scored the back side of this. And then if you wanted to go around a full curve, he would score multiple times and bend it around. Obviously you don't score all the way through, but just score it through about halfway. And you can bend it and it'll hold that shape then. And then the clips too, once they push in, they're gonna, if it's got a little bit of a bend this way or that, the clips will actually hold it in tight too. So here is the upholstered 23 C-Cab. I like to think we have one of the nicest ones out there, but as far as this particular body, that's not hard because there's not very many companies that make them right now. I think there may be one other company that makes it, or
yeah.
There's just not a lot of them out there, but it's a really cool car. And all the time I'm looking at C-Cabs online, and there's some really nice ones out there. And generally it's one of ours. I may not remember who the customer was, but over the years there's been some really nice cars built by y'all. And I do enjoy, I seen one yesterday in he brought a magazine in or something, and there was one of our cars in the magazine.
Yep.
And it happened to be perfect because we were looking to do some airbags on another one. And it happened to have that airbag set up, so whose car was in the magazine? Do you remember?
Lance.
Lance?
Yeah, from Arizona.
Lance from Arizona, so he got his car in some magazine. It wasn't even a car magazine, it was a lifestyle type magazine.
Yep.
They did a real good spread on them, and I've seen some pictures of he took our body and our chassis and put airbags under it. Did an awesome job, Lance. I hope you're watching.
And he has 90,000 miles on it.
90? Does he really? 90,000 miles? Wow. And that was a yellow car.
Yes.
Yeah. And so we're going to take and probably do that airbag system on one that we're redoing here. They wanted a little softer ride when I'm not sure why, but whatever his reasoning was, that's what he wanted, and that's what we're going to do on that one. Why don't you show our dash? If you're wondering if it's a Spirit car, especially if you're wondering if it's a Spirit C-Cab, here's a giveaway. This is our version of a 32 style dash. Basically all of our 23s come with this dash installed unless for some reason you don't want it. And We just did one. He didn't want the oval in here, so we reinforced it a bunch in the back and ground the oval off. But generally, this will be a telltale sign it's one of our cars right here. So here it is. C-cab, they are cool. And we were back. We missed you yesterday, like I said, but busy day, busy. We're not going to do a Trump tweet of the day. But I am entertained. You can watch a Trump news conference, and it's more entertaining than I've seen a couple Meryl Streep movies, and I was way more entertained yesterday by the previews of that. So we're not going to do that. Except one thing, we're doing our part to make America great again, one hot rod at a time, and I've got to thank everybody. We had a record December, didn't we?
Yeah.
I mean, it's looking to me like we're having a record January as far as what I'm seeing piling up on the board out here for orders. I'm saying that, well, for two reasons. I mean, we appreciate everybody. You're our valued customers, and we do appreciate that. And, try to take our time to do every car, not rush them through just because we got a couple extras this month. But do every car to a level that, we want to be professional, and we don't want to just be professional. We want to keep improving the industry and making cars better and better, and that's our goal anyway. To help you accomplish your dream, to build your car, to build the car of your dreams. But it did remind me of Trump when he was campaigning away. They mock him for a lot of things. They say he mocks people, but he's been mocked quite a bit. And I watched this and I was like, my goodness, is he really saying this? We're going to win so much. We are going to win so much that you're just going to say, stop, I can't handle it anymore. No more winning. And I'm not saying stop. We don't want your business for sure at all. But if you're wanting a car by springtime, we're real busy right now. I don't know what our delivery times are, Josh.
Depends on the car, but yeah.
Depends on the car. We're pretty busy right now, and if you do make an order now, it's got to go on the back of the line. And there's a bunch of orders that are, I'm not going to say they're stacking up, but we're building as fast as we can, and we always have. So, looks to be a good 2017, thanks to y'all, and we appreciate that. So today, we're going to pass it on. Let's pass it on. Pass it on. I got a new thing going on in the evenings, in the afternoons, in the day, and I build a lot of hot rods, and I still enjoy it, love it, but I've always had a passion for gardening and farming. So we started a new thing called Heritage Bred, B-R-E-D, Farms, and Heritage Bred Farms on Facebook, and I'm with my grandkids, and I've done this a long time, and I'm trying to pass on what I know, and I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but you've heard me say a lot of times, there's no one right way to do it, but there are some wrong ways. Well, what I'm doing on my farm, now that I'm 60 years old, and I'm going to accomplish that, that's been a dream of my lifetime. There's no one right way to do it, but there are some wrong ways, and I am a newbie. So if you want to watch me go on that, we're going to do another live thing on that tonight. I got some chickens now and goats and some horses out there in a pond and all. You can do some aquaponics and just build stuff. I like to build stuff. So some of that I'll be doing in here. We're going to build some trailers and things like that. So that's something you might want to watch too. And doing it with my grandkids. Pass it on. I learned from my grandma. She was a gardener, and her dad was a farmer. I mean, she wouldn't ever acknowledge that he was a sharecropper, but I know his story, and he was a sharecropper. And so I've learned a lot, but there's a lot to learn. And as I learn, I hope I'm going to be able to pass it on to my grandkids. And hopefully, as I'm not winding down in the car business by any stretch, but I'm winding down in life in general, hopefully I pass something down, and I would encourage you to pass something along. So, right now I got Ernie, the Hot Rod Man, Ernie Gilcrease. He wrote this book, Pass It On. It's just a bunch of little sayings here. And we just usually pick one. And we're not going to do the last here. We're going to go here. And I randomly pick one, and a lot of times it just fits what we were doing. And this is okay. I was shoveling some poo. cleaning out my barn. We had some horse, and I looked at everything. When you all look in your backyard and you look around and I see something, an old hot rod and way to do it, man, I see a shape or I see something I can use in the future, I grab it. And I'm not going to be a hoarder necessarily, but I see a plan for something that's way different. Well, I was looking at all my horse poo in the barn, and it had been accumulated over a lot of years. I said, this is not a problem. This is a good thing here. So I moved it over to my new manure pile, which is going to go in the garden. So here's the saying for today. If you can smile while shoveling poo, you can master the brown belt of Kung Fu. So, I don't know, a little Kung Fu, I gotta loosen up for that. Got my brown belt, I had my brown belt, my brown boots for sure. But there's how you do a sea cab interior. Tackle it. You never know till you try something. So there's some ideas that we have for that, and thanks for being with us today.